Hello, and welcome to Shrink, the podcast for the mind. I'm Philippe and I talk to the people who want to have a better understanding of their issues with weight and body image. So today I'm having a chat with Natalie, who does some breath work. Do I pronounce it right? Because with my French kind of pronunciation, is it how you would say it? Breath work?
Yeah, absolutely. Breathwork.
Yeah. And I came across your name because I have a client who was clearly having issues with her breathing, and that's not why she came to see me, obviously, because I'm not at all into that. Although I find it amazing, and I told her that she should really find someone that could help her with that. She had issues with her eating, with her weight. Anyway, it was a lot about her emotions, of course, and so she started working with you, and I've clearly seen the difference that it made. Even when we were having online sessions, I could clearly see that she was more relaxed and she wasn't talking that quickly anymore, as the way she used to, and she was breathless even during our sessions. And so I've always been interested in breath work, and that's why I got in touch with you, and you agreed, and I thank you for that, to be a guest on my podcast. So what is, I don't know what to start. I would start with, what is breath work? What is breath work really?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. Breathwork. Okay, so breathwork, it's a huge and vast area, and breathwork, I would say, is referring to any kind of technique that we're using or applying to our breathing, where we're becoming more conscious of it, we're perhaps even manipulating it to change the physiology in our bodies. And so we might look at the yoga pranayama as breath work. There's going to be functional breath work that supports sports people. And then there's the kind of breath work that I do, which is known as conscious connected breath work.
Which is what? Sorry, could you say that again?
Conscious connected breath work.
Okay. Why is it different from other kind of breath work? Is it different? I guess if it has.
Yeah, so we're working usually breathing in and out through the mouth, which generally is of no use whatsoever. Like, we should never breathe through the mouth unless we're using it for therapeutic purposes. Right? It's nose breathing is generally suggested as the way to go in daily life. But when we're using mouth breathing for a short period of time in these therapeutic settings, we can work directly with the nervous system. We're also altering the brain waves. So we're going through different brainwave states, which means that we can access states that go beyond that analytical states, that we can enter states where we almost, I would say an altered state, where we move beyond who we think we are, who we've been conditioned to be, who we've been expected to be. The way we see ourselves becomes very different. We might get insights, we might notice some kind of spiritual connection happening during a session. There might be great realizations, memories, integration of old experiences and trauma that may be held in the body. And lots of emotions. It's very common for a lot of emotions to release during a session. And that can be anything from joy, might be feelings of pleasure and really feeling connected to the body. And there might be experiences of releasing grief that has been held in the body for a long time. So if we haven't been able to process some emotions for whatever reasons, they're stored there. and through a breathwork session, we can finally release them.
Mhm.
And so the conscious connected breathwork is kind of in the name. It's conscious. We're deeply aware.
Mhm.
It's connected. So we're generally closing down that pause between the inhale and the exhale. And breath work, it is work.
It is work. Yeah.
It's not something that I'm
Mm.
doing to the client, and it really requires their participation.
I encourage my clients. It's one of the tools that I ask them to use. Although I'm not a specialist, I don't want to sound like I'm a specialist. But to breathe, to take some time to breathe before they eat, and to stop eating at some point and breathe, and doing it like a few times whilst they're having their meal, because most I've noticed along the years that most people who have issues with their weight and with their eating habits, they eat way too quickly and they don't breathe. I mean, sometimes it feels like they only breathe when they put something in their mouth, like food in their mouth, and then when it's really it's something I really encourage, and I think it's. I mean, maybe it's just my feeling. I feel like it's people breathe less and less well in the lately in the last years or so. Do you think it's something that is getting worse in general, or it has always been an issue, but we're now just noticing it?
No, I think it's definitely getting worse. There's the world's getting faster. We're getting more and more overstimulated with information and noise and social media, and we're more and more connected to the whole world and what's going on out there, which is anxiety inducing. And what happens when we feel anxious is that we're breathing shallowly. It's a very shallow, short breath in the chest.
Yeah.
And that is certainly increasing the levels of anxiety.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. So you make a let's say a link between anxiety and people not breathing the way they should.
Yeah, absolutely. And
so it creates anxiety, or it accentuates anxiety. Sorry, I don't think it creates it. It probably increases or it locks it somehow.
Yeah, and well, the thing is when we breathe deeply, so the kind of breath that I'm encouraging people to use is a deep, full breath, really using the diaphragm into the lower part of the body. But what happens there when we breathe in that way, we start to feel more. We start to feel more alive, we feel more connected, and we feel all the emotions that we've tucked away, which isn't always pleasant or
it's scary for some people. It can be scary. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it's not always convenient. So we bring the breath up to the chest. We have this shallow breathing happening so that we don't have to feel everything. And then that's when anxiety can come. So yes, the breath patterns can induce anxiety. But if anxiety is also there, it's gonna make it worse.
Yeah. So that's so interesting. So do people have to practice, like they come and see you and you do workshops, or do you do one-to-one sessions? And how many times do they have to see you in order to kind of do better in terms of breathing?
Well, it really depends on their intention. A lot of the work that I do is specifically working with trauma and integration of past experiences that are still being held. I really support people to get more connected to their bodies. And if there are things like depression present, addiction, I work with people in that way. But so it depends on how long I work with someone. But if somebody just wants a few breathing techniques, I would normally suggest that they go to a functional breathwork practitioner.
Okay. Yeah.
But if they want to go into some very deep work and look at their behavioral patterns, their thought patterns, their beliefs, to really go in deep to the root cause of why we're doing what we do in life. And I would say I work with people, I like to say, try one session, one-to-one, and then we can commit to a series of 6 to 10 sessions if that feels right. And then there should be enough, they should have enough knowledge about their own body and nervous system by that point to start practicing by themselves.
Yeah.
I also do 3-hour workshops. I do facilitated trainings.
That's a long time, 3 hours focused on breathing. Like, I mean, it feels to me like it's a long time, but how does it work then?
So because I'm working not only with the breath, but with somatic practices, embodiment practices. So we do some work around connecting with the body, movement. We also go into some inquiry, so around certain beliefs or behavioral patterns, and then we take what we've stirred, what we've discovered into a breathwork session.
Oh, I see. So, and then after the breath work itself, do you kind of chat all together and express what you've been feeling and how does it work? Yeah, it's like
yeah. So we take some time to integrate because it's quite often that we need a little bit of time to land back into the body, and then we have a sharing circle, or if it's one-to-one, we spend some time sharing and even discussing possibilities of how we might take what we've learned from the breathwork session, any insights that came, and how we can start to really integrate that into everyday life.
Yeah. And like this client that I'm seeing, and she brought it to the sessions that we have. In fact, I could see that the topics and also the how open she was about her emotions was really triggered by the breath work she's done with you. That it really made a difference. And I mean, I've had other clients, so it's funny because I recommend different things to my clients, which I don't do myself. But I've had other clients who did some breath work, and it clearly made a difference. Now, how did you get to do that, to be specialized in breath work?
Quite by accident.
Is it like most of us, we get to do things by accident?
Yeah. So I was, I guess, around the age of 26 to 28, I was really struggling with depression and anxiety. And I had sought the help of a talk therapist, and I just wasn't ready to talk about what was going on for me. And so I was very avoidant in those sessions. I mean, looking back, I really feel sorry for the therapist. But it just wasn't working out for me. And so after a year of going to this therapist, I just decided to take some drastic action. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take off around the world and discover myself in that sort of cliched way. And I did lots of yoga, meditation, the plant medicines, and tried many things. And then I came across conscious connected breath work when I was in India. And somebody suggested that I join a training, and they said to me, it was related to trauma release. And I was saying, I have no trauma.
Of course you have no trauma.
I have no trauma.
Yeah.
And of course, within a few days of the training, I realized that was the root cause of all of my stuff, my anxiety, my depression, my addictions, my behavioral patterns, my feeling stuck in life. And I was, it was incredible. I mean, for me, the strongest emotion that came was anger, was rage. And I realized that my childhood was not what's ordinary, but I certainly didn't grow up in the safest of environments. And I was starting to see how that had affected the rest of my life. And so through that 10 days, I started to feel things really shift. And I didn't quite trust it. I was very cynical about these sort
But
of
you were scared,
alternative.
probably.
Yeah,
We're scared of changes. Most of us are scared of changes, and so we resist them sometimes.
absolutely. And at the same time, I think I had reached rock bottom, and the only thing that I could do was be open to the changes that were coming. And so after the training, I was kind of thinking, I'll start to feel depression again. I'll start to feel anxiety again. 6 months later, I felt like a different person. None of it came back.
Yeah.
And so I realized I needed to train in it and learn. And I have since. It's been 13, 14 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm still growing and training and learning and sharing the work around the world. And it's incredible.
And you feel like some people start by doing some breath work, and then along with breath work, they think, okay, maybe I need a therapy now, like a psychotherapy, or is it really separate? I like the idea of, because that's how I work. I like the idea of, psychotherapy being connected to breath work, being connected to all kind of, there's so many different things that can help. But do you feel like people who do breath work, usually they will just stick to that and they won't go to therapy, or?
I think they do. And the thing with breath work, it can be quite an experience, right? There can be quite a strong cathartic experience.
Of course, yeah.
And I think there's almost addiction to that experience. The way I'm working is much gentler. And it's not so much about reaching altered states. It's more about really connecting with our own body. And I always, even in the intake process, I always suggest that clients do this work alongside speaking to their talk therapist, because it is incredibly helpful. And I can support those insights and emotions coming to the surface, but I'm not a therapist. So what comes afterwards, it's really, really useful to then support the integration process through talking it through with someone like yourself.
No, I think it's a good thing. I'm not saying this because I'm a psychotherapist, but I think it's a good thing. I think there should be more links between the things, like the things you do and what I do, and that's an advice I give to my clients. Say, go and try this, go and try that.
Yeah, and we have many therapists on the breathwork training, which I think is beautiful. And I know for myself, as I've gone along with my own breathwork journey, I've had periods of 6 months here, 6 months there, where I implement it alongside having a therapist. And last year I was working with breathwork and EMDR on myself, and it was amazing, really beautiful shift.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Do you see a difference between the way men and women approach it, or?
Yes. So I would say there's definitely more more females that go into this work. We see less men, but that is changing.
Good.
It's changing, because of course many men have been taught to, emotions shouldn't be shown, and
But same in therapy, for example. I mean, there's many more women who go who start a therapy than men. But it's changing, like you said. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Yeah. So, and as it's changing, I'm seeing that men are quite drawn to the sort of more stronger methods, like the Wim Hof and maybe the more cathartic methods of breath work.
Yeah.
And not so much with the gentle approach that I'm using, though again that's changing.
Well, it's a good thing that it's changing, I think, because I see so many men who are locked. It's like a vault almost, and I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for them. Do you have along your many years of doing this, have you encountered people having issues with their eating habits or eating disorders? Is it something you've encountered?
Yeah, very often.
Oh,
Very,
really?
very
Okay.
often.
Yeah.
Yes. And as you know, with your own work, there's often a root cause beneath these eating habits
Mm-hmm.
and disorders which may stem from way back in their history.
Yeah.
So quite often we move into those spaces of the root cause with the breath work, and this is when it's really important, I believe, to have that therapy integration work going on as well to
Yeah, I can
support.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with you? I mean, I will put a link in the podcast notes. I will put a link. Do you have anything coming up? Like, do you organize workshops? I think I've seen some workshops on your Instagram profile, but is there anything coming up soon? Or
Yes, I have 2 more workshops this year. So in September and October, we have one in Camberwell in London.
Okay.
They're 3-hour workshops, a great way to just learn a little bit more about breath work. There's a facilitator training in Belgium in October and London.
You've connected with Belgium. I saw you do a lot of stuff in Belgium. I'm from Belgium, in fact.
Right, yeah.
I was wondering, what's your connection with Belgium? Maybe you don't want to share that, but what's your connection with Belgium?
Nothing. I hadn't even been until a few months ago.
Really? Because I've
Yeah.
seen a few posts on your Instagram.
Yeah, so I was working with a young woman there, amazing practitioner, and she had been training in breath work, and I was supporting her through mentoring, and we just worked very, very well together. And she made the invitation, why don't you come to Belgium and do a training, and I can help you organize that. So that's how that
That's
came
your
about.
connection with Belgium.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you've got another one because we were having this conversation.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you wanted to say, or that you wanted to share? Maybe because, maybe there's...
No, I mean, I'm just really happy to meet you. And I would love to ask you many questions as well, and ask if I can share your details with my clients.
With pleasure, of course.
Yeah.
We will meet again. We will organize that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on my podcast, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Philippe. Thank you.
With pleasure.
All right.